managing work and private life as a full-time employee and a mother, time management in combination with expectations and workload. Too many topics at the same time. Balancing life, work-life balance, and to learn to delegate more. Combining my work with having 2 small children. To combine my work with my family life without anything suffering too much as a result. To meet the countless demands of my roles, both professional and private. And these are just a few examples. I am reading from real-life answers to the question about people's greatest challenge recently. This is from a survey I have been conducting with leaders in the digital media industry about burnout awareness and how this is dealt with in the companies that they work at. I mean, there is some serious common ground here. And yes, you may be thinking, okay, come on, but that is no news to us. Exactly, because it has become so normal these days. We have become a master in handling the overload of work, in handling all the information, all the input that is constantly coming towards our way. And it's becoming more and more normal to us to live with constant low-level stress. But let me tell you that there is another way. And so today I decided to talk with you about time and about the feeling of never having enough of it, about the constant struggle of balancing all these components in our life and what we can do to find more ease in this. Let's get started. So, you wake up with a list already running in your head, right? Work messages, family topics, appointments, expectations. Somewhere in between there is you. And somehow you keep sliding to the end of that list, or not. This episode is for the people who carry a lot. People who lead teams, people who run businesses, people who care deeply about their work and their families, people who feel torn between responsibility and the wish to breathe. And you might be one of them. Perhaps that's why you press play today. And so this is a space for you to slow things down for a moment. A space to look at your relationship with time in a different way. A space to take control back, gently and clearly. And with that, I warmly welcome you to Who I Am, your guided meditation podcast for strong mind, balance, and bold moves. Here is something I see again and again in my work. People believe they struggle with time management. In reality, they struggle with the constant demand. It is usually not the amount of time, because as we all know, we all have the same, but it's more the density of the workload and the demand that we're handling within that time frame. Work wants productivity. Family, on the other hand, wants presence. Friends want your attention. Your body is just craving for rest. Your mind, well, what does your mind want? Clarity? Peace? And you're standing in the middle of all of that, trying to respond to it all. So let me ask you something. And take a moment here to answer this honestly. When was the last time you felt truly done with the day? Not exhausted. Done. Most people end their days drained, but unsatisfied. Because time goes into reacting instead of choosing. Emails decide your rhythm, meetings decide your pace, and other people's urgency decides your focus. Time feels like something that happens to you. And that is where all of the pressure begins. But we are here today to gain a different perspective. Because I can tell you that time management is a lot less about calendars than you think. It is more about self-leadership. Your calendar shows where your energy goes. Your energy shows what you value. And your values decide how fulfilled you feel. Many people manage time based on their availability. Open slots get filled, and then any kind of gap that you can see in your calendar will be closed. Days get packed up to the maximum because, we need to be productive, and we're even taking that requirement of being productive or feeling productive from our profession into our private life. And this is getting all mixed up because your kids don't need you to be productive. They don't need you to be perfect, to be the best idol, the best example all the day. They just need you to be present. And trust me, in the long run, they're gonna grow up. They're gonna grow up beautifully. Nothing is perfect all the time. And you know that. Obviously, you know that. And still, you're trying to answer every question, to hold the space, and to be there for everyone. And you know better than I do where that leads to. There are these moments where inside of you, everything screams. It's too much at once. Please, I just need a minute. This is just too much at once. You feel like you can't breathe. You feel that inside of you something is starting to shake, and you can sense that you're about to explode. And you get into this fight, flight, or freeze mode. And by the end of the day, you evaluate your own worth, your own performance by the way you reacted in that moment. So what I'm saying here is that very few people manage their time based on capacity. Capacity asks different questions. How much focus do I truly have today? How much emotional space is available? What actually matters right now? So in the end, it is not at all about how packed your schedule is. It doesn't define how your performance has been today or how productive you've been. It's all about clear priorities. So let's slow this down together. Sit comfortably, feet on the ground, your hands resting easily. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Let the breath move into the chest and then release it through the mouth. Again, inhale. Exhale. Bring attention to your shoulders. Notice any holding. Let them soften. And then bring attention to your jaw. Let it loosen as well. Maybe wiggle it, circle it, open and close the mouth. Just a few times to really loosen and let everything go here. Now begin to ask yourself, where does my time feel tight right now? You might feel that in your chest, in the belly, in the neck. Just observe. You know, time pressure often lives in the body before it even shows up in your calendar. So really take this time to check in with your body. I know it may be difficult because we have literally forgotten how to even be quiet enough or how to make the space to listen and really connect to our body. Control over time begins with permission. Permission to choose depth over speed. Permission to protect your focus. And the permission to stop proving productivity. Here are 3 grounded shifts that you can work with in this moment. First of all, decide what deserves your best energy. Every task does not need excellence. Some just need completion. And I'm talking about 80-20 here. You probably know this rule that 80% of the result need about 20% of your capacity, and the last 20% need 80% of the time. And it doesn't make it more complete. It just strives for perfectionism. Some really just need your attention. And others, we can release completely. Second of all, create space between things. And that means not just to leave 5 minutes of space in between one appointment and the other in your calendar to be able to go on a bio break. No, it means to make enough space to breathe, to reflect, and to integrate. And of course, that doesn't necessarily always need 30 minutes. Sometimes it really is just these 5 minutes, because meetings without breath in between is draining you, and it's draining your clarity. Before you haven't given yourself the grace to integrate, 5 minutes of pause can change the quality of the next hour and your presence within that time. Third of all, include yourself in your own life. Your needs belong in the calendar just as much as your work, your family, your colleagues. Rest supports performance. You are not exchanging time. It's not like you take this hour for yourself and it takes this time away from productivity. It boosts your productivity because you are taking this time for yourself. In the time you actually do need to be productive, you actually do need to perform, you will have more power and you will feel so much more energized based on the time that you took to recharge yourself. This is not about trading time. And it's especially not about quantity. Think back about the numerous amounts of time you have spent with friends or family, really only being physically present because your mind was somewhere else in that meeting that happened today, in the presentation that you've got tomorrow, in all the things that you still have to do because the day just hasn't ended. But there you are, spending quality time with your friends and not being present at all. Time responds to intention. So let's anchor this. Place one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly. Breathe slowly. And with every inhale, invite more clarity. With every exhale, invite space. Picture your day as a landscape. Some areas may feel crowded, and some feel more open. And now imagine creating one clear path through it. A path that feels aligned. A path that feels manageable. And then stay here for a few breaths. Time becomes kinder when you lead it instead of chasing it. You carry a lot because you care. But care deserves structure. That kind of structure creates freedom. Now you get to decide how your days feel, one choice at a time. Thank you so much for being here. Take this steadiness with you into the rest of your day, into the days that are coming. Because yes, time is not endless, but your presence is limitless. I send you all my love and light, and I can't wait to welcome you back here when you hit play again. One more thing before you head off. If you have any questions or you would like to get in touch, learn more and grow more, check out my website whoiam-official.com or send me a message at healwithjackie. You can find me on Instagram. I would absolutely love to get to know you and work with you. So, see you there.